You've come on and you're thinking, what's all this about? Subscribe. I help people that have got social anxiety. I help men to improve their dating life. You might know the term as day game, which is meeting and attracting women on the street. I also teach men the skills really to become more confident socially. There's a bit of a spiritual touch as well. So go on the channel, look around. There's so much stuff that will help you to be more confident with women and people. Right, so in today's video, I wanted to make a change. I wanted to talk about something I've never spoken about. It was something that came up in one of the conversations I had with one of my students, a good friend of mine. I won't mention his name, obviously, out of respect to him. I never mention people's names if they don't give me the all clear. But I've also had this question posed to me from lots of students, and I get emails about it. And I also get people that are a bit frightened when they write to me, so they'll ask me this question in different ways. And I can totally relate to it from my own story, from suffering from social anxiety, having low self-esteem, always being frightened of being judged by people, feeling unattractive. And that's the fear of making new friends. So I had a student say to me, we were talking about obviously meeting women, then it came up and he says to me, I want to make friends with guys more. I want to make more male friends. And the way he said it to me was like, I don't know if I should ask that. And I went, yeah. I said, this is what this is about. This is what I'm teaching you on the 6 weeks program. Everything I'm teaching you is about how to connect to yourself. It's not bullshit. It's not no fuzzy, spiritual feel-good stuff. It does feel good and it is spiritual, but this is really going to help you to do that. Now I'm going to quickly tell you a bit about my story, going back on my journey back some years ago when I was really frightened of people, very insecure. And that was because, if you know my story already, if you don't know my story, you can hear it again. It's always going to help and inspire you. That was because I was bullied at school. I had quite a strict upbringing from my father, and I've been in many violent situations, and I always felt I couldn't trust people. There was always that underlying feeling that, this person's being nice to me now, but how long is this going to last? At any moment now, they might start physically laying into me, and I know that sounds irrational, but those are the fears I had, and that's because I've been attacked many times in my school. I'd attack people back because I didn't want to be bullied. And I think I was more frightened of verbal confrontation. I was more frightened of someone turning their nose up and saying, what? Or criticising me or judging me. Just the uncomfortable feelings that would have on my body with someone reacting to me in that way. So, for example, if we were talking about a topic and a person asked me about a particular place, a country, any sort of matter, and I didn't understand it or know about it, I'd feel an immediate fear, like, oh shit, if I don't come up with something smart, a person's going to think I'm stupid. And that was one of my biggest fears. Because years ago, someone said to me, when I'd expressed myself in my true form, my true self, someone looked at me and said, don't be so fucking stupid, you sound like an idiot, what are you talking about, pull yourself together. So, that feeling of just feeling completely humiliated as a young boy, and then going into life and kind of taking that into my adult years, always kind of having that voice in the background where, always thinking to myself, Johnny, you better think before you speak so you don't end up talking fucking stupid. Sorry, I'm swearing, I'm passionate. So, of course this is going to affect my relationships with people. Now, of course, if you're watching this video right now going through something similar and you're frightened to make friends, of course, this is the reason. What I want to say to you is, give you some reassurance. Looking back now, I was completely allowed to have this fear. Like, I used to feel bad for having the fear. I used to feel ashamed. It used to make me feel sick. I used to feel unworthy. I used to feel like a dirty person. It used to drive me mad. I used to feel, I've got to keep this a secret. You know what I mean? I'm the only person on the fucking earth that feels this way. And of course I know that's not true. Loads of people have this. I want to say to you today that I want to celebrate it. If I didn't have these fears years ago, I wouldn't have worked on myself so much. I wouldn't have explored all this amazing new stuff, learning how to be better with women, connecting with other men, sharing my fears with other men, sharing my aspirations, sharing my passions. So anyway, I just wanted to relate with you and just show you that I kind of know how you feel. I've been through it. So I think the first thing you want to think about if you're afraid to make friends is that other people are frightened too. That you're not the only one that feels that way. Just because someone looks confident, if they're a doctor, a lawyer, a banker, or you might see someone like myself, for example, tall, I'm not a bad looking guy, I'm good with women, you might think, this guy's got it all handled. Johnny's got everything. How do you know? How do you know what my challenges are? Now, yes, that's true on many levels, but I've still got fears and insecurities. Some of them that I still work on now, I've got lots of fears, and I don't think it's going to change till the day we're dead. But that's what drives me, and that's what makes me want to be a better person and just keep being more vulnerable, or getting more comfortable being vulnerable, something that most men I work with, and men in general, struggle with. So I just want to let you know that if you're feeling a particular way about a fear, it's very likely that other people have it. What I'm going to say to you is, though, you need courage. That's what I said to my student. That's what I recognise in all my students and myself, that just because you're frightened, it doesn't mean that you're not attractive and you don't have any value. Your value comes from your integrity and your honesty and your love. That's what I've learned. The money, cars, women, this stuff doesn't last, because I'm not getting to know your money. I'm not getting to know your car. I'm not getting to know the women that you're with. These things are going to pass. Over a few hours together, a weekend, this thing's going to wash over. It comes back to human connection and love. So you need to develop the courage to take a chance. Now, for me, I know if you're going to say to yourself, because I could easily just say to you, I don't care, just ask. If someone doesn't want to be a friend, it's fine. But I know for myself, going back years ago, it wasn't that easy for me. If I did ask someone to be my friend and they turned me down, that would make me feel really bad. The physical, biological response my body would have to that, and the psychological story that would come up because that person had reacted to me in that particular way, would have left me feeling not good about myself. I didn't know years later that working on myself, I would be able to take rejection much better, and it wouldn't have as much of a bad effect on me. So what I want to say to you is, you need to have the courage to take a risk. You need to risk the fact that someone might not want to be friends with you. It's very likely that they might not. It's very possible that they're going to want to be friends with you. And then it comes back to the same thing I would say to my students in regards to, approaching and speaking to women. Unfortunately, not everyone's going to like you. In an ideal world, I wish that everyone would like me. I wish that every video I would do, everyone would like it. They would like it, they would share it, and everyone would like it. And sometimes when I do new videos, there's certain videos I do, and I will have a bit of fear before doing the video. And I'll think, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this because I've made such a good impression on my other videos where I've been really authentic. I'm always myself. I do my best I can be. If I do this video is a bit dark, people might judge me on this. But I've got to take that risk. And every time I do it, I might upload a video. After I get the growth from that, I feel good. And then the comments will be good. And I'll get some criticism, which I like as well, because criticism is a great way to also build yourself. So what I'm saying to you is, this comes back to self-esteem. Well, then you're going to say to me, well, Johnny, I don't have any self-esteem. And I know that classic story when you don't want to apply for a job and they say, we're looking for people with experience. And you're going, well, I don't have any experience. The only way I can get experience is if you give it to me. That's kind of like when you're making new friends. I know how I felt. I felt like I was alone. I was a loner. I felt completely alone. I felt angry. I felt insecure. I just didn't like people because I didn't like myself at the time. But that wasn't really true. I did like people. I did like myself. So you have to kind of weigh things up and say to yourself, right, am I going to stay in this situation where I'm in pain at the moment? Because I know how painful it is when you're by yourself, you want to make friends, you want to meet new people, and a part of you generally feels that you've got value to offer, and you have. That's your authentic self. Because as it says in the Bible, God makes all men equal, and I really believe that. There's no one on this earth that is higher than anyone else. There's an illusion that takes place. There's a value system, there's a class system, but if you take those things away, and you take us back to true nature, where I am now in the fucking park, a human body speaking into a camera, all the same, different cultures, different ideas, but all the same. It's always the same thing. Everyone's trying to find love in many different various ways, and we go around different journeys to get to the place. So I hope I'm kind of getting through to you on this, because I know it's a very delicate topic. I know it's not something I can just say, yeah, just go out and be social, make new friends. Not as easy as that, my friend. Not as easy as that. You're talking to someone that was traumatized myself. So you have to build trust. And the same way you do that is through everything I teach, my one principle. Guess what it is? Guess what it is? Come in. It's not a pickup line. It's not a trick. It's not something to make people feel small, to make yourself feel better. It's honesty and congruence. The practice of honesty will build your business, build you a girlfriend, create a beautiful girlfriend, make new friends. So what I'm going to say to you is vulnerability and openness. When I struggle to make friends, one second, I need some water. I know it's not very professional, but I'm authentic. When I struggled to make friends, it wasn't because I struggled to make friends. People always liked me. I could make friends everywhere I went, from different cultures, different backgrounds. I was frightened. I had massive social anxiety. So the small amount of friends I did have, I trusted them because they accepted me. And probably, if I'm being really honest, and I'm always being honest, really, really honest, it was because they were vulnerable like me. We had the same struggles. But of course, there was always that part of me that was like, I'd like to hang out with some creative people. I'd like to hang out with someone that was intelligent. I had all these ideas, and so you should. And you're probably thinking the same way. I want to hang around with someone who's completely different to me. I want to hang around with someone who's posh. I want to hang around with someone who's from a different background to me, a different colour, because I want to connect with other people. I'm curious. And I've got a lot of love to give. And you're the same. So it always comes back to a relationship with yourself, and you have to recognise, like I said, that if you're afraid, other people are. So what are you going to do? You're going to stand around, wait for friends to come along. The classic line that our parents tell us that isn't always true when they say, oh, don't worry about it. You're a nice guy. You're going to meet a lovely woman one day. Just wait for the right woman to come along. All right? Well, in my experience, that doesn't help. But I'm going to contradict that. If you get really good at practicing meeting, well, I was going to say gaining and practicing women, those things can happen. Women can fall into you. So The whole thing about making new friends, you've got to be vulnerable, you've got to take the risk. And I always say to my students, just be honest. My honesty is very deep. I'd even say to someone, look, I wanted to invite you out and go out with you. I was a bit worried you might say no, but I just, I want to do something. Do you fancy it? Just that honesty and that openness, that's fucking powerful. That's the majority of how I got my success with women. So I'm sure, I know this might not make sense to you, but it's going to make every bit of sense making friends. Because if you're struggling to attract women in your life, trust me, you're struggling to make friends. If you're struggling to make friends, sometimes you're struggling to make money. So these fears, all these fears are linked. And do you know what they are? What I've learned, I'm going to be a psychologist for a bit, because I'm pretty sure I'm qualified to be one, especially on the area of social anxiety. It's probably the fear of abandonment. You've probably seen the film, I know a lot of people reference this, but I love this film with Matt Damon and what's his name? Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting, classic film. About a guy that was really talented, he was struggling to be himself in the film, and he was afraid of human connection, he was afraid of being abandoned. And that's the same with me, that's the same fear I had. I didn't realise it back then, I was 22, I'm 32, so 10 years ago. I didn't know about psychoanalysis, psychotherapy and human fears and deep psychological fears. And because obviously I had a tough upbringing, I loved my dad, he was a good man, but he was tough on me, he was hard on me. Certain things he said to me when I was younger, it stayed with me. It carried out into my psychology. When I'd meet people, the patterns of fear I had I'd be frightened they were going to make those patterns come up in those stories, so I would behave a certain way so they wouldn't attack me. And I was also frightened that if they did criticise me, I'd lose my temper and knock them out, because that's what I was good at doing. And that's not kind, I don't do that no more, I'm a nice person. So, the fear of abandonment. The fear of abandonment can be affecting every part of your relationships. And the way to overcome the fear of abandonment is to put yourself in situations, I know you're not going to want to hear this right now, but trust me, it's going to help you, where you can risk being abandoned. Because the way I looked at it, I got to a certain stage in my life, now stay with me on this because you might relate to this, it might be able to help you, where I was in my flat in Fulham Broadway thinking, I got to a point where I didn't want to live. Now, I wasn't going to commit suicide because that was an easy option out, and I didn't want to hurt my family and parents, and there's still enough of me that was passionate to live and make money and get a girlfriend and sort myself out and pull myself together. So I thought to myself, I've got a hand-selected amount of friends, I really appreciate the friends I have. They're not perfect people, neither am I can't criticise them, but they're my friends, I can be myself for them, as best as I knew myself at the time. But I want to see more, I want to do more stuff. I want to go to music events, I want to see boxing matches, there's so much stuff I want to do. Everything I involve doing means me facing my fears. It means me getting in front of people. For a person that's scared of people, it means you're scared of life. I didn't realise I was scared to live in this world. I was frightened of everything. I was frightened of getting friends, I was frightened of losing friends, I was frightened of offending friends. Oh my goodness, it just, it didn't end. So, I want you to get excited about this now, because it's what happened to me. I want you to see this as, not just, I'm afraid to make friends, but I'm afraid to be myself. Because when you put it like that, you start working on being yourself more, you find that it's easier to make friends. Because you'll be excited about being you. Like when I'm doing this video now, I'm excited to be doing this video because I like being myself. It took me many years to get here. I could never have done this video years ago because I was frightened of being judged by people. Now, of course, to some extent, I still care what people think about me. What I've learned is I care a lot less because I know who I am. So at the moment, you're having trouble with finding out who you are. You need to find out who you are. You actually know who you are. You're frightened to be yourself. I used to have the same fear. I was frightened of people thinking, this guy's a fucking loser. Look at this guy. This guy's a disgusting person. This guy's got no value. He doesn't work. He's lazy. He's not clever. He's not articulate. But on another side, I knew who my true qualities were. I was afraid that people are going to get jealous of me. I always had this fear. Because I always cared. Isn't that crazy that when we have social anxiety and we're frightened of meeting new people, it's because we care, it's because we're good people. It's because we care about what people think about us, because we know how it feels to feel inadequate. We don't want to make other people feel that way. And if someone's made you feel inadequate or dirty or unworthy or unlovable, you don't want to make someone else feel like that. You don't want to feel those feelings. So you become a people pleaser, and that's another story for another video. So what I'm saying to you is, the fear you got is actually not as bad as you think. Now, another thing I'm going to say to you is, you need to find like-minded people. Now, excuse me, sometimes I don't like that saying when people say that, because there can be a certain amount of, this is just my interpretation, you don't have to agree with me, there can be a certain amount of arrogance within that statement, so find like-minded people. Okay, so if I'm negative and I'm a drug dealer, shall I find like-minded people? But I know what they mean within that saying. So what I'm going to say to you is, find people that are on the same journey as you. So for example, in the PUA community or dating world, you often have guys saying, I can't make any friends, there's just no one to go out with. And that's bullshit. What he's really saying is, I'm frightened of making friends, I don't trust people. How can you tell me in a community like the Pickup Artist community, it's a fucking worldwide community, or the dating world, especially in a city like London where you've got meetup.com, you've got all these platforms where people are screaming for human connection and love, and you're saying to me, you can't make friends. What you're really saying is, I don't trust people, because I was the same. I would say all the time to my friends, this area is shit. There's no nice girls around this area. That's because I was shit. There was no nice, I was going to say girl in me. No, I was saying what I was projecting about myself. So to simplify all of it, I understand your fear. It's a very, it's very common, especially if you've been treated bad, you've had a trauma. But it's not as big a deal as you think, but you've got to start taking steps towards making friends. And I said it earlier in the video, honesty, congruence and courage. Now, how do I ask a girl out? I go over, I'm honest, I tell her what I like about her. I would apply the same principles to guys. And obviously you're not gay. If you are gay, you can use this if you want to meet guys. This is me trying to teach gay guys pickup. I'm just having a joke here. But it's true, what I'm saying, I'm having a joke, there's truth in it. So if you want to make friends with men, you've got to be straight. You know what us guys are like, we don't like bullshit. Let's get past the surface. I know we talk about football and the weather, but the same as women, especially with men. And especially the friends I've got around me now, even my students, if I'm bullshitting, they'll call me out, and I like that. Years ago, I wouldn't have had the self-worth or self-esteem or the character to be able to be called out by someone. I would have taken it like that. As soon as someone criticised me, it's going into a fight. I know that sounds a bit immature, but that's how I used to be, because I was so frightened of being abandoned and so frightened of being attacked. Violence was the way for me keeping my value. My value, how I measured it, was violence. You might be the same. You might be a very violent person. I'm definitely not judging you. I'm going to love and support. I was the same. I come from the working class background. It was a violent area. The way a man demonstrated value was money, drugs or violence. Now, I couldn't get money. I just didn't have the confidence to make money. I tried to be a drug dealer. It didn't work out, but I was good at being violent. But I hated violence. Do you understand? So I was caught in this, I don't want to be this person. What I'm really saying is I struggled to be myself. I didn't know who I was. And then I found out who I was. I realized I'm not a violent person. And then I started to make more money, more relationships got better. I could make friends more. And now I've got friends all around the world. I'm not showing off. I'm just trying to inspire you from someone that felt like a loser, didn't feel lovable, didn't have much going in my life at the time. That's how I thought. And I got that back. So this is deeper than you just saying, I want to make male friends. What you're really, I'm going to go even deeper. Stay with me, because I really want to help you, give you, forget the word value. This is life changing. What you're saying is, I want to make friends with myself, because that's your best friend, the self. That's how I felt. I felt like I was embarrassed of myself. You might be feeling the same. I was embarrassed to look in the mirror and to sing in the mirror. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how I felt. I was embarrassed to just, with my clothes off, just to be naked, just to see my wife. I was ashamed. I was carrying a lot of shame because of what someone had said to me. It would just, it had tarnished my psychology. It affected my walk. I would walk differently. I would be in a shop and just feel, people are staring at me. That's how much I was traumatized. So look how inspiring I am for you. If you see my change, think, wow, did he go through this? And some of you might doubt it and think, I don't think Johnny went through this. Well, have a look at my eyes closely. I always say this. If you look into an eyes man long enough, you'll see that he's been through a lot. All right? So, this is exciting, because I always say to students, and from learning from myself and having a mentor, one of the key things to overcoming a fear is identifying it, awareness. The most frightening place for a man to be at is when he's not aware of his own thoughts. So it's good that you're pointing this out. It's good that you're saying, I need to make some fucking friends. My life needs to change. Now, I want to make another thing clear as well, because I remember at the time when I was struggling to make friends, I thought, I started to rationalize it. I made reasons why. The reason I ain't got friends is because I'm from a working class background, I'm English and Irish, and I won't be able to make friends with other cultures because they won't understand me, I won't understand them, for example. Another one was, I can't make friends because I haven't got money. If they want to go and travel, if they want to go to the cinema, they want to go out for a night out, I can't afford it. And I don't want people paying for me because I'm a man of pride. And I still am. So, sorry, what was my original point? I've gone blank for a second, stay with me. So my point is, it doesn't really matter how much money you make in your business. It doesn't really matter if you're a doctor, a banker, a lawyer, a CEO of a company, a professional. If you've got this fear, this is the fear of abandonment. There's a self-worth issue that needs to be looked at. And the fact that you've raised the awareness of it is 50% of doing it. Now you've got to take out the practical steps. We can't read about it. We can read about it all we want. Reading books, as far as I'm concerned, about building personal relationships, overcoming social anxiety and attracting women breeds more fear. Because the more I'm reading about it, the less I'm doing it. We've got to go into the world. There's loads of platforms. If you want to make friends, go on my social circle group, Johnny Berba. Over 500 men, all the same, different backgrounds, everyone's the same journey as me, all want to connect to love, all want to feel attractive, all want to connect with people, all want to cut the bullshit. Go on my social circle, I'm going to leave a link, you can make friends there. If you need my help, you want to do some coaching, get in touch with me, you'll have a friend and mentor. Everyone I work with, yes, a professional, they pay me, I coach them, we usually become friends. Now, you don't have to go that route, you can make friends by just going out being sociable. And you'll probably find that most guys will be surprised, because as men sometimes we put too much of a barrier up, and that's what I found growing up in the working class background. And there's some things I love about working class background, by the way, and the vulnerability, just kind of the honesty that people just speak their mind. I like that bit. But there's always this sort of barrier. So I've learned, especially as a teacher, because I've been teaching for 4 years now, I've had to bring my guard down. I've completely let it down. Look, I'm vulnerable, I'm on camera, I'm spitting my life story. I've had to bring my guard down, then men just warm in. I find now, it's going to sound mad, I attract women easy, but I attract lots of guys, which is a great thing. I love men, and I'm not gay, I just want to point that out, just clear out because I'm half Irish, but I attract men because I'm open to it. So I said to one of my students, he said to me the other day, we were talking, same topic, stay with me, about friendship and building a relationship. He said to me, I don't understand it, Johnny. I'm in work, and all the girls want to speak to me now. And I said, I know, it's crazy, but I understand it, and you're going to understand it. It's because of the work we're doing, it's because of the coaching, it's because we're changing the way you think, and you're going out, it's because you're being honest. And I said before, you had a metaphorical sign saying, don't stay away from me, don't speak to me. That's what your body language was projecting. Now you're saying, I'm open, I feel safe, you can talk to me. So what we project, we'll get back. So basically, to wrap up the video, if you want to make more new friends, you have to be vulnerable, you have to be honest, and you have to be willing to risk being abandoned. But you can't be abandoned. You can't be abandoned. God can't abandon anyone. So I'm just trying to train in your mind and training you through. And this is how I would mentor you if you're with me one-on-one, or in a boot camp or a seminar. So I want to speak directly to you. So you have to risk that, and then you realise that someone's going to want to be friends with you. And then you build a relationship with a friend, you be open, and just the conversation I'm having now, this is how you build a relationship. I remember, I want to tell you a quick story about a good friend of mine. It was a student of mine who's a really good friend, his name's Maurice. I was out coaching Maurice, we were doing a coaching session. And I had this with lots of my students, I have really intimate connections with them, nothing sexual because I'm not gay, I told you I'm half Irish. But I can't help it, I'm vulnerable, I'm open, we go for a lot with men, we just click on our stories. And these are guys I work with from different backgrounds, different professions, we've been brought up different, but there's such a connection there because of our fears, that we have the same fears in common. And I've overcome their fears and I'm helping the guys to do the same. So Maurice said to me, I just love the way he did it. He's the only student who ever did this. So lots of my students have said things, and sometimes they've called me out or they've challenged me, and I love that. And he said to me, you know what, Johnny, I've got to be honest with you. You're a really nice guy, but I do feel jealous of you. And I loved it. I loved that because he was just honest. And I think that made the friendship even tighter. Because I said to him, yeah, I can imagine you would feel jealous of me, but I said, if you fucking knew how much I had to go through to get here, you wouldn't feel jealous of me. You'd probably feel sorry for me, but you're going to have the same problem. And then after we talked about it, we laughed, and now he's a really good friend of mine. Now, I'm just giving an example of what Maurice did, how vulnerable, how honest he was. I mean, that takes a certain amount of courage. He could have risked being judged there, he could have risked being criticised, but I wouldn't do that because I'm a teacher and I couldn't judge anyone. But I'm just making an example of what a man did in a moment of time and how a friendship has grown and got better. Now, I've had other friendships develop where it's got off to a rocky start. Someone has criticised me or been a bit abrupt. None of my students saw it, just in a situation where I've met someone and thought, you know, that guy was a bit rude to me. It was a bit, what was his problem? And then we've become really good friends. It was just he was establishing his boundaries with me, or maybe I've done something that wasn't appropriate. He's called me out, and I like that because I'm still learning. I've said it before, I'm a teacher, I'm an expert. Expert teacher doesn't mean I know everything. I'm a student at best. That's why I'm a good teacher. So, what I'm saying to you is, all these things I'm talking about are attached and aligned with the fear of making friends. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with, like I said, in Good Will Hunting, we usually think we're frightened of being turned down, but usually deeper, and I've said before, we're frightened of success. Making new friends is success. Success is defined as your happiness, making more money success, getting labeled attractive women success, getting a relationship, overcoming your fears, doing a YouTube video blog success. So you have to start thinking about, you have to imagine your reality, you have to change. That's the fear. That was my biggest fear. I've got to change. If I want to make friends with creative people and these type of people, I don't have to change in the sense of not being myself and be a people pleaser, but I've got to be my true self, because my true self suit people are going to like. Do you understand? So I hope that's going to help you. And it's not you're over-worrying about it, and you're going to make loads of friends. And the friends are, I said it to my student, last one to say to you, the women are here, they're always here when you're ready. The money's here, the friends are here. We live in a big world. We're all connected anyway, one way or another, all right? That might be too deep for you if it's too deep, tough. So you've heard it from me, I've been through it. I've been through the fear of abandonment. I've been through the fear of rejection. I've been through the fear of judgment, the fear of not making friends, the fear of being, oh man, I've had everything. God, what else have you put me through? I've been fucking hell, I've been tortured, crucified. I've had it all, but it was worth it. It brought me into love, and that's what I'm trying to get you guys into. Remember, it's not about picking up women on the street. It's not about getting laid. That's fun to do. It's about connecting to love. So I hope that helps. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the process. And guys, I really appreciate it, right? If you just share my videos, I'll be happy. Or just send me an email. I get these emails every week and I really appreciate it anyway, just saying how you got on. And let me know what your thoughts are, because I might do another video on this. It's a big topic. I could talk about it all day. So if there's some things I missed, let me know. But thanks for listening, and I know that's going to help you, all right? Enjoy the process. Speak to you soon. Bye.